Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. Just like to say thanks for my subscribers. It's getting up there now, 242, which is doing well. Really pleased with that. Need to get to 500. I might start to give some giveaways away if I can do. I'm not getting any help on this channel, so I have to do everything myself, and I'm not getting any freebies or nothing, guys. So any help would be appreciated. Okay, what this video is about is going to look. It's basically somebody's asked me to do these videos about Cura, 3D printing, that type of stuff. Somebody wants to know how to go through the process of starting out as someone brand new. And I'm not an expert. I've been using it for about a year, but I'm not an expert. So I'm going to do my best to try to explain how I do it and show you how I do it. Yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the programs I use, the files I use, and how I get the original file from the computer onto the PC. And if I've got time, I might have split the video, but if I've got time, how to design a few things. Yeah. Okay, so the program I mainly use is called Thingiverse. So this program here, there's the link at the top, thingiverse.com. Just type that in, it'll come straight up there. And basically it's a massive site full of pretty much everything what you can think of. Somebody's already done it. If they haven't done it and you can't find something you want to print out, or it's not quite right, then you've got another option to use another program to actually alter that program. And I use Tinkercad, which is this program. Yeah, Autodesk ThinkCAD, or Tinkercad we call it. These are all the things I've designed myself, and I've designed quite a few, and it's not hard to do. And there's pages and pages of stuff, and these are all stored online as well, so you just download them when you want. I'm just going to show you how this works. Yeah, there's also another site I use. This is Yegi. Is it yegi.com? Yeah, it's the same as Thingiverse, just a different place. And sometimes you can't find things on one site, you'll find it on here. Yeah, so what we're going to do is jump back to Thingiverse, and then we're going to look at also Cura, how to set it up and just get the thing printing. So I'll just type in something. I don't know, if you look down here, these are the main things. There's a Groot. I won't do that, but we'll just type in something. I'll just type in, just say tools. Could be anything. It could be kitchen, gardening, whatever. I don't know. Sciences, whatever. This has came up with tools. So did I type in that right? Hold on. Yeah, I did. So it's come up with, there's some tools there. Hanging keys. There we go. So you can see it'll go on and on, page after page after page, thousands and thousands of pages. And I mean, you can see if you can't find something, you can always make your own or alter it. So for instance, let's just say I'll pick something small. I don't want nothing too intricate, but something like, let's say this. No, should I? Nah, something else. Let's go down. Something a bit more interesting. Okay, let's do. Trouble once you start looking, you end up. I'll find something in a moment. Okay, I'm going to pick on that. So I've looked at that, click on it, and it'll go to that page. You've got some pictures of it, which has already been in. Actually, that's in a different AutoCAD system or Tinkercad. Yeah. So you can look around it, make sure you're happy with it. You might not like these things here. You might think, oh, I don't like them, but I do like this bit. I don't like the rest of it. So what you can say is, that's the only thing I can find, so I might have that, so I'll download that. Click the download button, download it to the bottom corner, as you can see it, and then what I'm going to do is drag that to the desktop in a zip file. Close that down, that goes back to there, and then in here you've got likes, comments, no one's left a comment, how many people's downloaded it, and a few settings, infill, point to it, blah 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 blah. So all these settings are there, pretty straightforward. I'm not going to go into too much detail. It's up to you how you print it and what colour you use and that type of thing. So what I'm going to do now is just drag this over a little bit so you can see my desktop. And then I'm going to, not too much, I'm going to drag this just to a space, put on my desktop. That is there. If I close that down, there it is there. So that's the file. If I open it, you can see what's inside. There's a readme, tells you a little bit about it. I superglued this, blah 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 blah. I'm not going to read that. License, stuff like that. Then you've got some images. So he's got like 5 images. Click on that. It'll show you what was on the website. If you forget what it is, you can actually look at this. If you go back into file, he's got different parts. Sometimes there might be like multiple parts, or it might be done in one part. Hence he said he super glued it together. So if I click on this now, it's going to open the program. Now what you need to do is, if you've got Cura already open, you need to drag these to the desktop, just like I've got all these. These are all the ones I've used and I might use again, and blah, there's loads of them. So if I drag that to there, yeah, there you go. What was it called? Rear left. So I'll close that down. I don't really need that anymore. If I click on that, it's going to open Cura version 2.31. You can download this. This actually came with my 3D printer. Came on a little disk drive, little 4 gig card, but you can download it free. So wait for it to open. Okay, so there's the left hand part of it, which is down here. It's called left rear. So you can click on it, right mouse button to turn it around, have a look, zoom with your scroll key, and you can see it's made up of quite a few parts. A bit goes in here, and it'll probably be about this size. So pretty much straightforward. So you've got that into there, you print one out. My advice was to print one out and then do the next one. Don't print loads out, because if it goes wrong you lose all your print. Put all your eggs in one basket type of thing. So I wouldn't do that. So we've got some tools down the side and some boxes at the top, and loads of information at the side. Let's have a quick overview. I'm not going to spend a great deal of time, guys. So you've put that in there. If it's selected and you hit the delete button, it'll just delete it. You can also open a file at the top, click on that, and then you can see if I wanted to import something else, like I don't know, I'll just put in the car ramp. Yeah, put that in. Click on that, I'll just pop it straight in. So this is an RC car ramp. Do you notice how I can select it and deselect it just with the left mouse button? It automatically zooms towards it, and then I can also move it around by holding the mouse button down. If I put it in its same space, it'll just move it. If I put that inside there, I'll just say can't do that, it'll just move it. So now I'm going to delete this because I'd rather look at this one, so just delete that with your back button. Select this one, and then we can zoom around it, look underneath. You can see the red parts are the bits which are overhanging, so you'd really need to have infill in here if you wanted it to be perfect print. Ways around that would be to either print it on its edge and move it around a bit. So what I would probably do is go down this side, and you've got move, scale, rotate, mirror, and model settings. Yeah, and then this one is a view mode. The view mode is solid, X-ray, so you can see through it. Yeah, and then you've got layers. Layers will actually show you, if you notice it says 580, that's 580 layers. As you move down the layers, just zoom in a bit. You can see if I zoom in really close, you can actually see there all the layers, which it looks like herringboning. That's actually the tool paths. As I move across it, see them there? Really amazing, really. So that's how many passes it's going to do, so that's why it takes a long time. So if you hold this button with your left mouse button you can go down the layers to see how it's getting made up. And if I just stop it there and I just zoom in a bit, okay, zoom around a bit. Okay, you can't see there, but it's there. See, I was all made up of boxes. Now I'm set infill density to 100 here. Now this is how much you want to fill it, like 10% in gaps, 20%, 30%. This is 100, so if I go knock that down to say 20, it'll recalculate it again. Not the best model to show you this, but can't really, it's hard to see it. Nah, you can hardly see it there. It wants to be a different model where you've got a lot of infill, but I'll show you on a different model. But anyway, if it's like a sphere and you make it up into boxes, whatever you put into there will make it more fill. 100 be solid, 20% infill, 30% infill, and so on. So we're going to go back to solid, and then if I was going to print this out, what I would do is I'd turn it around. So I'll go to rotate. You can see the red line makes it go this way, the green line is that way, and so on. So if I wanted to put it up, say upend it, I would use the green line. So I'd left click on the mouse button, then you got 30 degrees, 40 degrees, down to 90, leave go, and it'll reposition itself at the right height. So now go back to move, and then you notice how there's no red parts on here now because there's no overhangs. There's a little bit of overhang there. Obviously that's the base. So you also want to check how much footprint. This is how much is going to be stuck to the bed. If you have too much, you might get warpage, but you want enough where it won't fall off the bed. And there's also a little bit there. I wouldn't even worry about that. But that's a lot better to print it that way. Yeah, and you can move it around. You could get 2 on there. If you want to duplicate it to make like 2, if you right click, go down to duplicate, and there's another one. And you can just keep doing that to your heart's content. Yeah. So that's pretty much how you get the file onto here. A few more settings you've got is mirror would just make it the same. If you've got something we want to mirror opposite, you'd use that feature. File, open files, put them on, save all, don't really use them. Undo if you do something wrong. Don't really use any of these. Select all. So what you can do is, if you click on it and then use the shift key and click on it again, you can shift key, then right click, then you've got select all models, you've got group. So for group models, then it'll be one unit and so on, or ungroup. Yeah, ungroup, you can just move one away and delete one if you need to. Right click, delete model, done. So that's pretty much it for that. You've got view settings, which is the same as this. Your settings, which has printer settings. We'll go into that. Just give it a second to calculate it. Settings, printer. Why hasn't that come up? Oh, manage printers, sorry. So manage printers, you got general settings, printers, blah blah blah, all that type of things down there. Pretty straightforward stuff. So in general, you're going to have language. I've left all this standard, so I don't even bother checking all that. So it's up to you if you want to go into detail. Just display overhang, things like that. Do you want to see what do you want to see on here? The more things you click, the more things you're going to see on here if it's relevant to what you're going to use. So you've got settings, check all, and everything will be in there. I've got initial layer height, so if you go down here, there will be the layer height down here. There you go, initial layer speed, initial layer print speed, blah blah, and all that type of stuff. Excuse me. Excuse me. So that's pretty much straightforward. If you look at the shell, how thick do you want the top lines, how thick do you want the bottom, what do you want to see into here? I'll leave it pretty much standard. Printers, I've got mine as the Cura i3 because it doesn't actually say Anet A8. Jump over to machine settings, and then you can set up your bed. 215, mine is be 215 by maximum height. I can actually go to 190, but I've stopped it at 170 because the cables get a bit taut when it goes anymore. But if I wanted to, I could tweak that a little bit. As I've got a heater bed on, machine 0, just leave that. That's all done in this G code here. Yeah, don't mess about with this unless you're going to, if you should know what you're doing. But you can alter things as you need to. If you alter anything in here, it changes the G code, obviously. So pretty much straightforward stuff. I don't need to mess about with that too much. Just put in this part here. I'm actually using for my G code. I'm using Nylon, but whatever comes with it, it'll work. Just make sure you put in whatever you can, whatever options you've got, put in. This is for the Anet, so I use that. Materials. Whatever you're using, I'm using PLA at the moment, but you can set all this from here. See how it says there, PLA. So you don't need to go into it too much. You can put your colour in if you wanted to. Profiles, just leave all that. You can create a specific profile for certain things, but again, I tweak this as I'm printing it. Plugins, if you want to add different things. There's loads and loads. I've got no plugins, but you've got all sorts of things there. So close that down. Done. But we're going to jump. Let's have a look. Settings, we've done all that really. Extensions, we don't need to worry about that because we just had a look at that. Post processing, don't need that. So looking into this, if you go to recommended, what does it? Change it to like an easy option. So basically you just go, do I want it hollow, do I want it light, dense or solid? Yeah, so you pick on, I've got light because or hollow, whatever you want, you can print out. Obviously solid is going to make it take a lot longer to print. Yeah, so this is the easy version. So when you start now, you can do this, and then if you want more, you go to custom. So I've got my printer at the top. Yeah, you can add printer, put what you want in. You've got the material type. If I'm printing out in ABS, I click on ABS or nylon or whatever. I pretty much do everything in PLA because it's so easy to print with. Profile, what quality do I want? Do I want it to be high quality, which is printing at the finest detail, 0.06 millimeters, or do I want to print at low quality? Let's just do it at low quality. Now before I click that, it's in high quality. If you look at the bottom, you can see it's going to take 6 hours and 30 minutes to print this out. Yeah. Every time I move it, it does it recalculate it again. So it's going to take 6 hours 30 minutes, and it's actually going to use 6.04 meters of filament. Yeah, six and a bit meters, and it's going to weigh 18 grams. Yeah, this is the rough size of it. So if you watch that now, 6 hours 30 minutes, and I click on low quality, it'll recalculate here. And now it's taking 1 hour and 58 minutes. If I go hollow, do it again, 1 hour 53, and so on. If I make it solid, it's going to take a bit longer. Yeah, so it's up to you what you do. I tend to go for low quality is really good. If it's something really intricate, then I'll go for high quality. And then if you go to custom, it's a bit more in depth. Same type of thing, but it tells you can actually tweak the layer height, how thick the height of the layer is you're building up. So 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer. You've also got the initial layer height. The first layer might want to be thinner or thicker, whatever you want to do. Wall thickness, you can change that. Top and bottom thickness, infill density, how thick you want to make that void. Material, printing temperature, that's down to your experience. But what I'll do is you can print out a guide. I'll talk about that later on when I actually put the printer on. It works better for this type of filament, which I'm using, because every filament's different for me at this range. Yeah, build plate temperature, I have really good results at about 60 centigrade. If If you keep it in a warm place, covered up, you might need only 40 or 30 or none. Just depends on what you're going to use. That's the diameter of my filament. Must put that in if you're using whatever. I'm using 1.75 millimeters diameter filament, so I'll put that in. How flow rate, how fast it comes through the hot end, just leave that. Enable retraction, which is when it goes from one point to another point, it sucks it up a little bit so it doesn't dribble, so you don't get like little bits of plastic melted across. That can be tweaked to whatever you need that. Retraction distance, so mine comes up by 4 millimeters. Retraction speed, 30 millimeters per second it moves, so you can really finely tweak all this. Print speed, how fast the print is going to be moving. The travel speed when it goes from A to B when it's not printing, that's the fastest, but you can go quicker. I think you can go a bit more, I don't know. I'd just leave that. Initial layer speed, the very first layer I always do it at low speeds, so it gets a good adhesion and it melts into that. I've got it on glass, sticks into glass really good, and then so on. Brim speed, which would be if you put like a brim around it. So say you're printing on something very thin like a tube and you didn't want to fall over, you could make a base for it. You can do that. Yeah. Cooling, want that on. Enable support. Now if I put support, if I just turn that around again, rotate to like that, and then go sideways. Yeah, and now you've got that overhang again. So if I click on support, enabled, right, and we can't see anything at the moment, but if I go down to layers, just give it a second, you can see, hold on, I've got a skate on there, but touching build plate, and if I click on everywhere, yeah, see now it's made the blue area. So it's filling it. That blue part it's put in is all made up of like zigzags, and this actually comes out, but it's a pain to get out. You can change all the thickness how you want to do that, but it's much easier to do it the other way. And also my print time's gone up quite a bit, another 50 minutes to do that. So I'm going to go enable support, no, and I print it like that. And I'd turn it up the other way if I was going to do it. Let's have a look what else is there. So now we've got, that's pretty much it really. Special modes, just print sequence. Do you want to print, if you have 5 items, you want to print them all together, like a bit of all of them, or do one, then it goes to the next one, then the next one. If you do one at a time, it prints the full one all the way to the top, and then I'll go to the bottom and do another one all the way to the top, and then so on. But that takes a lot longer. Bearing in mind it can actually traverse past one, it'd have to go around one, so do one, move to the next one. So I just go all at once. So if it's doing like 3 towers, it does a bit there, and just keeps working its way across till it gets to the top. Yeah, so that's it for that, guys. It's pretty straightforward. This part, if you want to connect the printer using a cable, I don't use that. I find if you use a cable, I forgot what the cable it is, like a USB, but it's like a printer cable, to go into the printer and your computer crashes or something happens, you will lose all your print. I just put mine onto an SD card. So what I do is I pop my SD card in. I'll do that now. Give us a second. So what I'm doing is trying to get this card out of the printer. My fingers don't work. Give us a second, guys. Should have done this before. Okay. Can't get out. Right, so I've got my SD card out. Now you can't see this, so I'm going to put the SD card into my little micro SD holder. Pop that into the computer. And there you just heard it. USB drive H. If you've got multiple drives, make sure you selected the correct one. So for instance, if I click on that, drive H, there it is there. So this is the USB drive. As you can see, these are things I've printed out. these are for RC stuff, tractors, stuff like that. So what I'll do is I'll delete them. You can see it's a G code. Just delete. Sorry about that. Me bad. I'm used to just do that. Right click, delete. Yeah, delete them. So now, if I leave that there and I go down to this bottom, you've got save to file. I've got mine to H. If you have multiple files, you can save it anywhere you want. So it's on H. Hit the button there. Dumps it on there. Click back on, and there it is there. That's the name of it. PIM, rear left. You can also name it what you want in there. Type what you want. But I'll leave it at that. So that's what it's called. So all I need to do now is take that out and put in the printer. So what I'm going to do is stop the video. I'll tell you what, we'll do a little bit more on the other bits and then we'll go to the printer last. Because I need to check. I don't want to make this video too long. My videos seem to be really long. So that's how you use this, guys. I'm going to close this down. I'm going to go back to, there's two types of Cura. I'm using the 2.31 version. There's another version which is 15.04.6, which is this one. This is I think the latest version. Very similar. This is over this side on the old one. I'll just load. I'm not going to go into detail, but I don't like this version, but it's up to you. Same type of thing, machine controls, change all these type of things. And down here you've got X-ray, layers, usual type of thing. I'm not going to use that one though, guys. Yeah. So if we open this up again, go back to the main screen. So now, for instance, say we've downloaded this, haven't we? And we want to make it different to suit our whatever. So it's not exactly right what we want. What we're going to do is I use Tinkercad. Yeah. And I'll create a new design. So you're going to go into there. And then you've got to sign in and make an account. Once you've made an account, you can create a new design. Create a new design. I'm going as fast as I can with this, guys. So there you go, a nice little workplace. Some tools down the side, home, filter view, zoom in, zoom out, blah blah blah. I only use mainly this one. So some tools down the sides, pre-install boxes and things, a few things around here. You don't need a lot of it, so you can change the name. Let's just call it test. Yeah. And then we've got our work area. So first of all, you can just design something from scratch. You can just drag a box in there, drag a triangle in there. You can change the colors here. Let's have that orange. Yeah, you can change the size. Just a dead kids could use this stuff. It's really good. I like it. That's why I'm a big kid. You've got the lock button and a hide selection. So let's just delete that with a backspace, and we focus on this one. So you can zoom in with your scroll key. You can also, if I put it there and I zoom in, it doesn't actually go to the center, does it? So you can come over to here and click that one, and it'll, yeah. So if you've got multiple things like this and that, when you zoom in, you can't get to it, can you, when you're zooming in? So you can click on that, hit that button, and it'll go to the center, which is when you're working on it. So let's delete that again. So that's it. So you can zoom in and out. You can also turn it. Dead simple stuff. If you put your mouse pointer over the top of there, then you've got like 1 degree increments. If you bring it back across to there, it jumps quarter. Yeah. Dink, dink. So if you wanted like to be 90 degrees, it just snaps to there. But if you want to be like this type of thing where you want 78 point whatever, yeah, you can do that. You can also type onto it and type in, I can't see on there. Yeah, just type 90 in, hit the return, done. So that's quite nice to use that. You can also make height changes, and if you want to, instead of trying to get the right height, you might want to just type in 20. Done. So that's pretty straightforward. We can turn it anywhere we want. We can change the colors, we can change the length of it in here. We can also make it from a solid into a hole. So now if I make that back into a solid and then click on it and then go to duplicate and drag that over, you've made two. Make this a little bit smaller. I can make this one into a hole and slide this one into there. Now what it does, it cuts in. It's a bit bigger. Yeah. So if I wanted to make something like that, see how it locks to the 1 degree increments. If you come down to the bottom, you've got 1 degree or 0.1's the finest, and then it gives you that fine control. And if you use your arrow keys, hear that? So you can go up 0.1 to get really accurate. And if that's not good enough and you want to be bang on, if you select it all, so now we've got both of them selected, hit align it with the center of there, align it with the center of there, done. Now that is perfectly aligned. Yeah, so now you notice how that's not on the bottom? So if I click on that, it's 1 millimeter above the surface. Click on 0, enter, done. So now we're right at the bottom now. So now if I highlight it all, go to the top, group, click, and what it does, it gets rid of that and it shows you what you've made. Pretty cool. You can add things, you can do what you want, you can add text. Yep. Around, you can really do anything you want. You can make the text, you've got your language, you can go on and on and on. You can make it so I put the text into something, but you get the general idea, guys. I'm not going to go on forever. Once you've got your design, yeah, say, oh, I like that, I need that, could be a clip for something or whatever. You've got all your dimensions, you've also got a ruler which you can pop onto the corner and then it'll give you dimensions there. This is free, by the way, guys. It's a fantastic piece of kit. I use this for everything. I'll show you some of the things I've designed. It's so easy to use. Once you've got what you want, it's automatically saved. You can copy and paste it to wherever you want. What I do now, you've got import and export. So we'll go to export. It says there, download for 3D printing. Hit that. It asks you, what do you want to do with it? Select. Do you want all of them or do the selected one? So I've selected that one. You've got a reason. You can save it as OBJ file, if I can say it, or a STL, or one of these for laser cutting. So now I've just got myself a laser cutter, sorry. So I'm going to start using this for text to print out, or try it. So click on that, because that's what I want from my 3D printer. It dumps it at the bottom, already ready for Cura because it recognizes it. If it doesn't, right click on it, open with Cura only. What I'm going to do now is, same thing as I did before, drag it to my desktop. There it is. Down, hit, click the button. Cura should open and our design should be in there. All the hard work's been done. Absolutely fantastic piece of software. Takes a while to open, but it's worth it. There you go. Bing. All done. All ready to print. Yeah, just close all this crap down. Tells you again 40 minutes to do that, to print that out. So again, hit that, it zooms in. So now, when I was talking to you about the infill, go to layers, scroll down a bit. Now you see how that's hollow? If I click on, see that's 0. If I click on, say, 30%. There you go. So that's your infill, guys. And that's not just on that layer, that's all the way down. So if we zoom down, it's going to be the same all the way down, crisscrossed all the way. So depending on what you're building and how strong you want it. Bearing in mind, if I wanted to drill a hole through that, you're best off putting your hole in the design in Tinkercad before this, and then what it does is it puts a, see how it puts a wall thickness round. And I've got the wall thickness set to 1mm. It puts a 1mm wall round the hole ready for your screw, where if you drill through that now, you'll be drilling through this crisscross bit. Yeah, make it 90% or 80%, and as you can see, that's pretty much filled in. It's going to take a lot longer. It's going to take 33 minutes. Sometimes little air gaps can make it stronger because you've got more bracings. And then when you go back to solid, you've got that. And there's your print. Again, pop that onto disk. Make sure it's on drive H. Click save. Yeah, so it's called test. So if we go into our Explorer, drive H, there you go, test, which is a G code. There you go, G code file. So all you need to do now is take this micro SD card, which I'll show you now, pop it in the printer, turn the printer on, pop it in, print from card, and you're away. It'll just take over from you. It's all the hard work done. So close this down. I'm going to go back into Cura, into this. So that's it for that. But you can also, you notice you've got export for these ones. Yeah, download or for 3D printing, you can do that. I just download it, but if you've got a 3D printing, you can actually send it to different clouds and things. I just leave it on that. You've also got share. Hit the share button. There you go. Thingiverse is already in there. So what I do, if I've designed something really useful and I think other people might benefit from it, I just share it over there. There's another one here, I don't use that one, but you can use that one if you want. And I'll just show you. And you just hit that and send it over, done. And that's pretty much it. If you want to, oh yeah, I'll show you one other thing. Import, let's delete that. In fact, no, we keep that. Just stick it out the road. Get rid of the ruler, just there. And then we're going to import something. Anything will do. Choose a file you want. Obviously, I'll import these ones, file size, And then what we're going to do is we're going to import, I think it was that ramp, wasn't it? Let's just do that ramp there. So we'll just do that. It tells you the size and the width. Yes, import. Downloads it, dumps it here. Now say somebody else designed this, but it wasn't exactly what I want. It's close, but it's not exactly what I want. I can fiddle around to my art content. So it downloads. Sometimes it doesn't work, and that's because it's an online system. This is actually sending it up online, not to your computer. This is a different one. Oh, sorry, yeah, this is a different one. It's a ramp, but different one. So now I've got this ramp in there. Yeah, I'm just going to spin it around so we can see. I want to do, yeah, quite a nice ramp. But this is an RC ramp. But just say it was too small, or I didn't really want, I thought it was a bit weak here, it was bending, so it was bending there. What I could do is, I could say, right, pop this in, make this 10mm by 10mm, put it there, zoom in a bit when I'm working. I can make it what I want, really. Can't really see there, but there we are. See how it just overlaps? So I could take it right to there. There's a little bit of overlap there, but that wouldn't even bother me. Now that'll be solid into there. So if I zoom out, There you go, done. I want to save it, that becomes part of that. If I just do this and then click group, it makes it part of the G code. There you go, done. So that's part of that. Change the colour because I don't like it like that. Let's try blue. Done. As easy as that, guys. You can do what you want. You can, if I wanted to say I didn't like this part, what I could do is just put a box there, drag the box over, make it big, done. So that's going to delete all that, apart from the box is too high, so I'd have to go, is it? Oh, sorry, this is too low. So what we need to do is, if you notice, it's minus 2.5 because it's below the bed. For some reason it's done that. So what we need to do is click on that, 0, and that'll take it back up there. And then once I do that, click group, it'll just delete all that. Takes a few moments, but dun, 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 dun. Again, because it's online and you're actually sending this information up to the website at thingiverse.com, sometimes it doesn't work and you've got to do it again, and what, not a problem. Sometimes it gets a busy site. Dun, 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 dun. It doesn't look like it's working that time. Try it again. Yeah, it's trying to do it, but what you could do is go back, try it again. Just a server, that's all. And to be fair, I never really get any problems with it till now. There you go. Group. And if it still doesn't work, close it down again. You'll still save it and then open it back up again. But that'll just delete. Get rid of that while I'm waiting. What it doesn't have is a little icon to say whether it's working away, so you don't really know until that changes. But it gets there eventually. But I'm not going to wait. I'm going to delete that. Just see if it works again. Yeah, servers will be busy or something. So you know that if it ever does this, probably just wait a little bit and do something else and then go back and try it again. Because it's trying to send this information up to the. So it's not to do with the program. It's just that. Yeah. Right, guys. So I'm happy with that. I hope it's been. I know it hasn't been too much in depth, but I've done my best. I mean, in this part here, you do get extra symbols. You can go and download. You put your own shapes in. You can go to the community database there. Again, it has to go online to get it, so it might take a while, but sometimes you have no problem, and other times it can't get on because it's that busy. But you can see it trying to work away there, trying to get all these, what people's put up there. But I'm not going to wait. But you can see it working. And there's the basic shapes. You can put your own in. Okay, guys. I think that's sorted with that. There's another site you can use. I mean, you've got Thingiverse, which I use all the time, and then you've got this Yegi as well, so you can use the two, and there's other ones as well, guys. So I hope that's okay. What I'm going to do now is if I've missed anything, leave it in the description before, or just send me a message and I'll try to do it. I'm going to switch your printer on, and I'll just show you how it goes from the printer to actually printing the one now for the guys who are brand new at it. Right, guys, so now we're at the printer. What I'm going to show you is go as fast as I can. I want to show you how to get the files from the computer. We've put them onto that disk. Yeah, so we're going to pop this out. you also, they're just on there. Now I've got this tiny micro SD card. It would be better if they did add a normal size one, but they don't. So you need to take your SD card out. Yep, so there's the files on there. There should be 2 of them on there. Pop that in to a little card reader, which runs all the way down to the main board. By the way, you don't need this. This is an extra. You can just put your SD card in there. That's where it's designed to go. Because I've got no room, can't get your fingers into the SD card. The SD card's just there. Yeah, because there's no room. So if this wasn't on, then you could just put your SD card in there. You can also run the cable to your computer if you wanted to do it that way. Anyhow, so it's in there now. It's turned on. I know it's not a very good picture because it's quite dark in here, but I'll do my best. So if you notice up here, I've got you've got your temperature of your bed and your hot end. Yeah, you've also got your X and Y and the firmware I'm using. So I'll go into, click into there, click down to initiate SD card. Okay, and then we're going to go print. Now I can't click print because if I click print, it's going to start printing. I don't want to print it out because I've got no filament in. Well, the filament's actually come off, so I need to replace the filament and everything. So all you do is you just go down to, I'll just show you the files though, if I can get in close enough. Can you see that? Print from SD card, go to refresh, and then there's the one called test, and there's the one we done. Yeah, so you can print out what you want. There's only 2 on there. If I go all the way down, I won't go any further, so you can only go up or down. So yeah, and then you just hit the middle button and start printing. So what would happen then? I would just come across and start printing. Yeah, the printer would get up to temperature first, and then that's it, guys. I think I've covered everything. Really good printer, definitely worth the money. One other thing I forgot to mention, which I'll talk about, I was going to mention about temperatures, what filaments to use, what temperatures to use. Sometimes you might buy a filament and you might get some information on it like this. So a lot of time you will. Now you can see on there, hope you can read that, 1.5 millimeters diameter, that's the diameter of the filament, PLA, 3D filament, item number, black, natural, blah blah blah. Then you've got print temperature, 190 to 230. Yeah, that's really important. So I know that it's going to be somewhere in there, which is going to be a good setting. So what you can do is, I mean, all filaments different. What I've done is printed myself out one of these towers. And you can see it's 1 to 10. And if I turn it around, I've got it in PLA there I've wrote on. And I've got some temperatures on the sides. So the first part up to number 1 was printed at 225. And then as I got to the last layer, I changed it to that. Change it down, change it down, change it down. So by the time I got to number 10, I was doing it at that 180. Yeah. Then take a magnifying glass, have a look at the quality of your layers, the adhesion, and then you can tell which is what you're going to use, which is going to be the best for you, what's going to work out best for you. Okay, a little bit about filament before I crack on. All my filament is just over there. So if I can zoom in and show you, it's a bit dark in here, but there's all my filament. I don't bother putting it in containers, I leave it in bags like this. Yeah. So when you first starting out, I think I got these with the printer. I've never used them yet, don't need them. or you can buy these as well. But there's not much on them. I don't know how many, how long that is. It might be about 5 meters or something. What you could do if you weren't bothered about that, you can actually join it together. If you heat it up and just stick it together with the melted glue, you can reuse that. So there's some of them. This is the normal printer stuff I use. It's just in a bag like this with some of them thing absorbers in, silica gel, and that's all I do. I just keep them there. I have no problems. Just keep it in the bag. I always have some information on if I can help it. This one hasn't, so there's the one with no information on. But I just keep it the same settings as the other ones and it works. Now this one's ABS. So as you can see, I'll take it out so you can, it's a little bit easier to see. This one's ABS, grey. Hot end 237. This is quite high temperature, but I also have the bed 90 and 0 fan. And that works for this stuff, which I've tried it out, but I've never really printed a lot out. I've just tried out in a little figure. ABS is quite hard to, it warps really easy, so you need to keep checking that. And then these things here, these sweet tubs, they fit perfect. So if you do buy these, keep them. You can put your ABS in there. That's ABS black. But again, you've got the beds 100 to 80 or 235 to 240. 0 fan, print speed at 70 to 90. And I keep that in there with some. And they fit in there perfect. Okay guys, I think I've pretty much covered everything. If I've missed anything, tough. So, hope you like the video. If you do, thumbs up, and also hit that subscribe button if you can do, guys. If there's anything I've missed, just leave me a comment. Okay guys, cheers.